Alright, welcome class. So as you can see today, we're going to talk about teaching, more so in teaching using proven and research-based practices. And so, first of all, before we go into a little activity, when you hear or think about teaching, what comes to your mind, or what do you think that teachers do when they prepare lessons? What do teachers do to prepare? What are some things you think that teachers do? Have any ideas?
They'll probably look over the material, like course material, what they need to teach the class. They look over their standards, benchmarks.
Anything else?
Think about kids with special needs or disabilities who will need different means of like representation and stuff like that.
Perfect, yeah. Because not everyone has the same picture perfect classroom. There's going to be students with that learn differently or have different disabilities, and we need to learn how to teach to them. So for today's class, we will be talking about using research-based practices. It's one of the things that it's in my reading. It mentions how teachers use these research-based practices and implement it into their teaching, and how it helps with their teaching. And to be honest, like doing research and using research-based practices didn't come to my mind as what teachers do when they prepare lessons, and so I thought this was really interesting. And so to begin, I kind of made up these examples, but I thought there to be three types of teachers, and these are just the three types that I came up with. And as I show you these three types, I want you to think to yourself, which teacher would you want as your teacher? So the first is this teacher, that I'm just here so I get paid teacher. So basically, this teacher, he really doesn't know what he's doing. He just somehow made his way through to becoming a teacher. And basically what he does, students come to class and he either has them do whatever, or he puts a movie in and has them watch the movie, pretty much babysitting. And the students, they don't mind doing their own thing, but at the same time they're not learning. Has anyone had a teacher kind of like this in high school? Yeah? Yeah? I mean, I had a teacher like this. At first I was like, oh sweet, this is an easy A. But at the same time, we were watching a movie, I think it was Rambo. Had nothing to do, and this was a biology class, has nothing to do with biology. But I got an A in that class, but at the same time, I didn't learn anything. So, yeah, didn't work out well. The next type of teacher there is the recycle teacher. Again, this is something made up, as it isn't an actual term. But basically, the recycle teacher is a teacher, no matter how long he's been teaching, he uses the same kind of material or information every year, every time, to every class. So say if this is a teacher that's been teaching for 30 years, he's been doing the same thing for 30 years. But at the same time, it's old information, it doesn't relate to today, or he can't make it relatable to his students today. But that's the recycle teacher. Not as bad as the lazy teacher, anticipated teacher. And then I could have made it better, but the awesome teacher. And so basically, the awesome teacher is gonna go along with the teacher that uses research-based practices. The teacher that keeps herself or himself up to date with educational trends that have been research-based and proven successful. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so of these three teachers, which, as a student, would you want as your teacher? The first, second, or third? We'll just keep it as that. Third? Alright. I thought someone would say the first, but good. Because as teachers, we want students to learn sometimes there'll be those students that don't care and would rather watch movies. I think we all honestly like to watch movies, but at the same time, we're in school to learn. And so as teachers, we need to help kids develop a love for learning. Let's see. Okay, so on to the next thing. Alright, so research is important. And not just teachers. Well, research is done in a lot of things. It's done with athletes, business professionals, actors, chefs, and it even goes along with teaching. Within teaching, there's research that is done. Research is what helps us make new discoveries and learn how things work. Without research, it would be difficult to make these discoveries. In other words, it'd be difficult to, if we didn't do our research, we wouldn't know how to better teach to our students. We wouldn't know, figure out ways like what will help them pay attention in class, what will help them be better behaved, things like that. So yes. And along with it, effective teachers do what the research tells us is most effective. Effective teachers use proven research-based practices. Ineffective teachers talk more about the gimmicks and games they're trying to find to keep the kids quiet. Kind of like the first example of a teacher. They just throw in movies or have them play board games. I've had that experience in high school. Effective teachers talk more about the research they constantly look for to improve the achievement of their students. So, in research and education sense, it's done to help benefit the student. It also helps benefit the teacher as well, because you're improving your teaching at the same time trying to help improve students' achievements. Any questions so far? None? Okay. So, we're all wanting to become teachers, and sometimes future teachers or people that want to become teachers, they have that mindset of, oh, my college professor or my high school teacher taught me this way, and I thought it was really helpful. And we might adopt that style of teaching, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work for you. Because, just because it works, say, you had a really awesome English teacher and the way he taught was so perfect, it doesn't mean that it's gonna help you for your math class, because the way he taught his English class isn't going to be the same for your math class. Does that kind of make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, is that to say that everything that your teachers did was wrong? No. But like again, it just means that what worked for them doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Because it also means you might have classes where, as Kaylee mentioned, you might have students that have like special needs, and you may not. The teaching style of your teachers, previous teachers, they may not have had to deal with that, but you have to deal with that. So you have to find ways to work with that. Okay. So going along with that, don't be a copycat. Don't copy your previous teachers. But I feel like we all have gone through this in high school and schooling in general. But some teachers feel that this is good enough to count for teaching, which is assign chapters to read, answer the questions at the end as a worksheet, deliver a lecture, and have students take notes, construct a test based on number of options. Like, this is very rote. Like, it's something that we've all experienced, but like, to be honest, when you guys have, read chapters or answered questions, like when you guys have done this stuff, have you really understood or learned anything, or are you just doing it just because, like, what's the word? Like, it's just, like, I don't know, did you guys learn anything from doing worksheets and stuff like this, or are you just doing it just for like the grade and stuff? Yeah. And so, like, this isn't entirely wrong. I mean, we're gonna have to do things like this, but like, there isn't any learning. Like, there's no research in any of all of this, unless you can find research in it. So, So, like, this is very cut and paste style of teaching. And research doesn't mean like just like copying, like, doesn't mean just like doing this for all your classes. Like, you actually have to put actual research. You have to find out like what's going to work best for your students. And so, in teaching, there are many fads, there's many trends and philosophies about education that are actually helpful. But along with this, it's going to help to see like, it's going to help to do the research behind those fads. It's more than just like, oh, since this fad or this trend is working in New York, it means it's going to work in Hawaii, or it's going to work in wherever you're from. Like, you have to make sure that it's research-based and it's been proven. Okay. So, in the article that I had, it talks about a school district in Oklahoma. And what they did was that they gathered all the data from their students, and this was over 4 years. But what they did is that they gathered the data, and then over that 4 years, their math and reading scores increased up to 40%. And something I thought was interesting about this was that 75% within the school district were students that qualified for free and reduced lunch. So what that told to me was that these students were probably from low-income families. Yet, over 4 years, there's a pretty big increase in math and reading. And this was done through doing research. And so basically what the teachers did, or what they did in this district, is that they gathered all the information and they saw like what students need help with what. And basically they were able to help each student individually, not as like the students as a whole, but what did this particular student need help with? How can we help that student? Okay, now what does this student need help with? Like this student struggling with maybe understanding math concepts or stuff like that. So they're able to take all this information from all these students and able to help them with their learning, help them with their academic success. Okay. Alright. So, okay. Alright. So summing it up, effective teachers, they understand the research process, what we have here. And effective teachers, one that understands the research process, uses research-based teaching practices, and research data to improve teaching and learning. And so, in the end, or kind of like for a review, say you are a teacher right now, just try your best, but if you're a teacher, what would be some things you'd use like research-based practices for? It could be either for learning-wise, for learning purposes, to help students with learning, or it can help like with gaining students' attention, you know, things like that. What are maybe some reasons you'd use research-based practices to help with what? That makes sense?
Can you rephrase it?
Like, so teachers use research-based practices. Like, I kind of talked more about like the learning aspect of like improving scores and things like that. But research-based practices can also help with like, you know, with classroom behavior, or with like getting students to participate more.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what would be a reason to use research-based practices to help with student behavior, things like that?
Just like overall?
Yeah.
Okay, well, like a big one would be like behavior, gaining attention, because I feel like that's very hard nowadays since we have all this technology and stuff that has shortened our attention span, and so gaining and keeping students' attention nowadays is a lot harder than it used to be. So just using research for that, probably.
Perfect. Yeah, because if students aren't paying attention, like the odds of them like doing well aren't going to be that high. But anything else? Any other reasons why you might use research-based practices? I think one would be like kind of like a classroom like seat management, like how you have the seating of the desks, because you might have students that sit in the back and they make the excuse like they can't hear, they're not learning anything. You know, maybe do some research on like, you know, is sitting in the back like not going to help students teach? Like, is it more effective if they all sat in front? And if you find something that proves that, to maybe have it set up where like all the rows or all the desks are closer to the teacher, instead of having this like rows that go all the way to the back, just have like one big half circle, things like that. That's just an idea. So we're not teachers yet, but even though we will face stresses like I am currently right now, we will all be amazing teachers. So yeah, that's my